Shalom Israel, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. Once again, this is the Saturday Sabbath service in Killeen, Texas. Salaki for those technical difficulties. We go with that, say I majum, which means to stand. La Yashrala. Sar Wapanya Hakwadom, which means turn and face the east. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shumka, Yahweh, Malakuka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashemayim, the Thundernawa, Lakom, Ko, Yawam, Wasalaknanawa, Kawawatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kawawatinawa, Wala'a, Dabya'anawa, Wanasaiwan, Abo, Hawashanawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwat, Wahala, Watapara, La'awalamyum, Amun. In English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. The prayer for the power of Hakak in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Babu Kashah, the Thundernawa, Hakak, Hakak, the Rapa'ah, Kalmakala, Wakalmadawa, Hakak, Latahar, Hamatazarium, Hakak, Lahakoyum, Hamatyum, Hakak, Arakawa, Hatamala, the Garshun, Ba'ashem Yahushua, the Waramun. In English, Yahweh, the name Yahushua, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushua, thank you. So be it. The prayer to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Barak Lanawa, Wayasharala, Wahabayasaporium, Barak, Ba'ashem Yahushua, the water Amun. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, bless us and Israel and the school. In the name of Yahushua, thank you. So be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Al-Haharyam, Ma'yan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'ayim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Waratazah, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al-Yanawam, Shemarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashun, Shalmar, Yasharala, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashemash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Belayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal Ra, Yashamar, Atnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'afka, Wabawa'aka, Ma'itha, Wa'id Awalum. In English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from which cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. The Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al-Damielika, Al-Takarash, Wa Al-Tashakwat, Al-Kayahana, Al-Yabuka, Yahamayawan, Wa Mashanayaka, Shinawa, Ra'ash, Al-Amaka, Ya'ariyamwa, Sawad, Wayata Ya'itazawa, Al-Tazapawanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakakidam, Magalia, Wala'a, Yazakar, Sham Yasharala, Iwad, Kaya, Nawaitazawa, Lab, Yakadwa, Alyaka, Baryak, Yakaratwa, Ahalia, Adawam, Wayashma'alium, Mawa'aba, Wahagarium, Gabal, Wa'amawan, Wa'amalak, Palashath, Am Yashabya, Tazawar, Gamashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarwa, Labanya, Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Lahom, Kamadim, Kasayasara'a, Kayabian, Banakal, Kwayashwan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayanda Ara, Hayawa, Daman, La Adama, Shayathamwa, Nadayabmawa, Kairab, Wakazaba, Wakazabat, Wakatazamanai, Kalnasir Kumwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayarasha, Lanawa, Ath, Nawath, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kagogala, Kakwash, Lapanya, Raka, Kaash, Tabaira Yaira, Wakalahaba, Talahat, Haryam, Khan, Taradapma, Basa Araka, Wabasawapatka, Tabalahum, Mala'a, Panyahum, Kwalawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabaawa, Ajai, Wayakaparwa, Waya Abadwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya, Atha, Shamka, Yahawa, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al Kal Ha'arataza. In the English, keep not thy silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Selah, doing to them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zeeb, yea, all their princes as Abab, and as Amunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the power and possession. O my power, make them like the wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. The prayer for the blessings in Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shah, Wa Mayaka Alam, Wa Allahayim, Matazab Ya'ah, Alawap Yahana, Halawapyim, Hasaranyan, Hakwatazayanyan, Hachayoyim, Wa Haakwatian, Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahweh Shah, the water Amun. In English, bless you Yahweh, and Yahweh Shah, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahweh, commanding General Yahana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you, so be it. The curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nation and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all governments of our enemies, Amalek's synagogue and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Space Force, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channel, and the radio channel. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues. Cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushua, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathen that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua, thank you always. So be it. All right, Sar, turn to face the front. And your Shabyam, which means to sit. All right. Again, Salakia for those technical difficulties. We're going to pick up from where we left off last week, which was, I believe we stopped at Genesis chapter 18 and verse 11. All right. We're going to do from there all the way up to Genesis chapter 19 and verse, I believe, 32. Genesis chapter 18, Salakia. Genesis chapter 18 and verse Salakia. All right, so where we stopped last week, Genesis chapter 18 and verse 11, we're talking about so the men of the Lord, they came and visited Abraham, right? And Abraham brought him into his home, took care of him like, as our custom, as Officer Tapazar went over last week, as our custom is, to show hospitality to one another. And the men of the Lord confirmed the prophecy that the Most High had given to Abraham and Sarah, in the beginning, when they first start to have dealings, when, before Hagar, before before he had Ishmael, the prophecy that said that Abraham would have a son through through Sarah. And they would get this prophecy, and each time, Sarah and Abraham was astounded by it. They were surprised. They laughed. Like they was, they was pretty old when they first received the prophecy. They were, I believe, like 90, and I think they were like 80 and 90, or somewhere in that right. I can't remember exactly what it is, but they were, pretty old. And then now, I believe now they're 90. I believe Sarah's like 90, and Abraham is 100. And the men of the Lord are reassuring Abraham and Sarah of this prophecy. And, them getting older. And then we just read in verse 11 that Sarah was, she was well stricken in age and ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women, meaning that she had started to, go into menopause, which indicates the, typically, from our understanding, it indicates that, it's time for a woman to, cease from having children. All right. So she's seeing these things she's seen these carnal things happen, and they're looking at it like, they looking at it like, how in the hell we gonna have kids and we old, and I'm all, she going through her changes as an older woman does. All right. So we're going to pick up from right there. All right. If you got Bible Hub, make sure you go to your Bible Hub. Go to Genesis or go open your Bible Hub book, go to the bottom part, the last option that says interlinear. Then go to the book, chapter, and verse, Genesis chapter 18. We're gonna pick up from where we left off, all right, and kind of close the gap. We're supposed to start at I know the title says 17, but we're gonna close the gap between those verses that we missed from last week. All right. All right, so Genesis chapter 18, and we're gonna pick up at verse 12. All right. Let me open up this chat. And any brother or sister, you know what I mean, watching, I know you might have been watching the last stream that we had to get removed because of technical difficulties. But if you could just, you know what I mean, go ahead, check in again, comment, you know what I mean, put your comments or questions in the chat. You know what I mean, so we get that algorithm up, like, share, subscribe to class, all right? So Genesis chapter 18, verse 12. Wata Salaki. Wata Tazak Shara Bakwa Salaki Bakwaraba La Amor Acharya Bala Salaki Balafia Hayata Laya Idana Wa Adanya Zakwan. Verse 13. Salakia. Salakia. All right. Verse 13. Waya Amor Yahweh al Abraham Lama Za Tazakha Shara Lamor Ha'ap Amana Salakia. Amanam Alad Wa Anya Zakwantaya. Verse 14. Haya Salakia Ha Yapala Ma Yahweh Dabar La Mawa I Ashawab Ala Al Yaka Ka'aita Khaya Wala Shara Ban. 15. Wata Kahash Shara La Mar La Tazakwataya Kaya Ya Waya Amor La Kaya Tazakwa. 16. Waya Salakia. Waya Kwamwa Masham Ha Nash Salakia Ha Anashim Waya Shakwapwa Al Panya Saddam Wa Abu Raham Ha Salakia Halak Imam Lashalacham. 17. Wa Yahweh Ashar Ha Makasa Anya Ma Abu Raham Ashar Anya Aisha. 18. Wa Abu Raham Hayan Ya Haya La Gaya Galawal. It's like it got the wall. Wa I Tazawam Wana
wana barakwa lawa call go ya harataza 19 kaya ya dai the ya wa la ma'ain ashar yataza wa ath banya wa ath bayathwa akharya wa shamar wa Darak Yahweh La Aishawath Taza Dakha Salaki Taza Dakwa Wa Ma Shapat La Ma Ain Ha Da Salaki Ha Baya Yahweh Al Abu Raham Ath Ashar Dabar Al Yawa. Verse 20. Wa Ya Ashar Yahweh Za'ikwath Saddam wa I Mara Kaya Rabah wa Khata'athum Kaya Kabada Ma'ad. 21. Arabah Na'a wa Ara'a Hakataza Slakia Ha Kataza I Kwatha Ha Ba'a Al Ya Aish Slakia Aishawa Kala wa I'm Slakia wa La'a Adaya. Verse 22. Wa ya panwa mashum ha ana Slakia ha anashim wa ya Slakia wa ya lakwa shad sadama wa abraham Slakia I would done wa I mad la panya Yahweh wa ya got verse 23. Wa ya gash abraham wa ya amar Slakia ha'at tasapa taza the yak I'm Rashai. 24. Awol Yash Chamashim Taza the Yakwa Salaki Taza the Yakwam Bathalka Bathawak Salakia Ha'ayar Ha'ak Tasapa wa la'a tasha'a lama kwawum la ma'ain chamashim ha tada the yakum nakum ashar bakwa rabah. Verse 25. Khalala laka ma'aishat kadabar haza la ha mayah taza dayak I'm Rashai wa haya ka tazadiyak ka Rashai khalala laka ha shapat call Harataza La'a Ya Aisha Ma Shapat. Verse 26. Wa Ya Amor Yahweh Ama Taza'a Ba Saddam Hamashim Taza de Yakum Bathawak Ha'ayor Wa Nasha'af Ya. Salakia. Lakal Hamakowum Ba'ai Bawarum. 27. Wa Ya Ain Abu Raham Wa Ya Amor Hana Na'a Hawa Altaya La Salakia La Dabar Al Adanya Wa Anakya Ipar Salakia Wa Ipar Salakia Wa Apar. 28. Awalya Yachasar 1 Salakia Hamashim Ha Taza de Yakum Hamasha Hatha Sha Chayath Bacha Masha Ath Kal Ha'ayar Wa Ya Amor La'a Asha Chayath Taza'a Shum Arabayum Wa Hamasha. All right, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 18. Salakia. In verse 12 in the English. Salakia. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, Am I waxed old? Shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? And the Lord said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child which I am old? This is what we was talking about earlier. I mean, that being in their old age, Sarah was worried that, the Lord wasn't gonna be able to do what, that he said he was gonna do. Or that he wasn't gonna do what he said he was gonna do. And verse 14, is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed, I return unto thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. So the angel is, reassuring. He's reassuring. He's kind of chastising Sarah. Saying, is anything too hard for the Lord? Like, and that's what happened with that's the exact thing that led Sarah to Sarah to give Abraham Hagar to have a child with. It was she didn't believe that she didn't believe that the Lord would be able to allow her to have a son like he said. So she wanted to take matters into her own hands, and then Abraham followed after, having a lack of faith because they was old. That's exactly what's going on here. And that's that type of exactly what you see in here is exactly what led Sarah to do that. Verse 15, then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. And the men rose up from thence and looked toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. Verse 17, and the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed with them. Verse 19, for I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken to them. This is the angel's reason. Now he talking to Abraham. He said, look, the Lord is going to, after all, the Lord is going to, do what he said he was going to do. After all of this, you think the Lord is going to hide from, he's going to hide from you the things that he said he was going to do. He said that he took Abraham and said, look out into the, look into the stars. If you could number the stars, that's how your family will be. He told him this thing numerous times. And that's exactly what was going to happen. He's like, after all of this, you think the Lord's going to hide that? You think the Lord's not going to do what he said he's going to do? Where we Salakia. Verse 20, and the Lord said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go, verse 21, I will go down now and see whether they have done it altogether according to the cry of it, which has come unto me. And if not, I will know. All right, so, and it's like it. Verse 22, and the men turned their faces from thence and went toward Sodom, but Abraham stood yet before the Lord. So the Most High revealed to Abraham that he about to bring judgment on Sodom and Gomorrah for the, because he's hearing, that there's all manner of wickedness going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. And once the Lord said that, the two men that Abraham had, shown the hospitality to, they went towards Sodom, and we're gonna find out what they doing there. But the Lord just revealed to Abraham that, he's about to get a report. He said, which is Salakia, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to cry of it, which has come unto me. All right, so he's about to see if these reports are true. And if not, I will know. So he's about to get a report. And if that report is what he think it is, then that judgment about to come down. All right. Verse 22, and the men turned their faces from thence and went towards Sodom. They about to get that report. But Abraham stood yet before the Lord. 23, and Abraham drew near and said, wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Verse 24, peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? So Abraham, he start to plead for for these people, right? And what's like it? Let's go ahead and keep reading. Verse 25, that be far from me to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked, that be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? Abraham was a righteous brother, man. Like, he didn't glory in the destruction of the Lord's people. Like, you see these fake Israelite groups, like they love to call somebody a 2/3, because the scriptures does say that 2/3 of Israel will be destroyed. But Paul said that it's his desire that all Israel be saved, man. We don't glory in the destruction of our people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And we can, because we're the Lord's children, the Lord said that, the Lord has his judgment. He's gonna, he's gonna do whatever the hell he wants to, but we serve a living power. And, we can, the Lord, just because the Lord is a living power, he can change, just like he can execute judgment, or he can prophesy judgment, he can also change his mind. So this brother, this brother Abraham was a righteous brother for not wanting to see his people, be destroyed. So like you. Verse 26, and the Lord said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then will I spare all the place for their sake. So he was like, look, if I can find 50, we can find 50 in in Sodom and Gomorrah. Would you spare the place? You know what I mean? The Most High, like, all right, no sweat. For you, Abraham, I'll spare him. You know what I mean? If you find 50, right? Verse 27. Abraham answered and said, behold, now I've taken upon me, Salakia, I've taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which I am but dust and ashes. So he coming humbly. You know what I mean? Verse 28, peradventure there shall lack 50, or Salakia, 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5? So Moses, or Salakia, Abraham, he walking it down. So he said 50. You know what I mean? He said, will you destroy it for 50? You know what I mean? He said, I'll spare him for 50. He's like, what about if there's only 5, or if you're missing just 5 of the 50? Will you destroy it for lack of 5? And he said, if I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. 29. And he spake unto him yet again and said, peradventure there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for the 40's sake. So you see what's going on. Like, you know what I mean? Salakia, good night. Verse 30. And he said unto him, oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. Salakia. Verse 31. And he said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And he said, oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And he said, oh, Salakia, where'd I stop? All right, we're going to pick it up at the Hebrew. Salakia. All right, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 29 in the Hebrew. Wayasap Iwad la Salaki la Dabar al Yawa Salaki Waya Amar Hawaya Yama Taza'i one Shum Ara Salaki Arabayum Waya Amar La'a Aisha ba I bawar ha Araba Salakia ha Arabayum. Verse 30. Salaki. Verse 30. Waya Amor al na Yakhar la Adanya wa the Salakia wa a Dabora Awaya Yama Taza Awan Shum Shalashim Waya Amor la Aisha Taza'a Shum Shalashim. Verse 31. Waya Amor Hana Na Na'a Salakia. Hawa Lathia Salakia. Hawa Althea La Dabor Al Adunya Awalya Wama Taza Awan Sham Ishurium. Salakia. Ishurium Waya Amor La'a Asha Ashachayath Bawar Ha Isharium. That's like it. Ha Isharium. Verse 32. Waya Amar Al Na'a Yachar La Adanya Wa Adabara Aka Ha Pa'aim A Awalya Yamataza Awan Shum Aishara Waya Amar La'a Ashachayath Bawar Ha Aishara. Verse 33. Waya Laka Yahweh Ka'ashar Kala La Dabar Al Aburaham Wa Aburaham Shab Lama Kwam Slaki Lama Kwamwa. Book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 1. Waya Ba'awa Shanya Ha Mala'akyam Sadama Ba'irab Wa Lawat Wa Shab Basha'ir Sadam Waya Ra'a Lawat Waya Salaki Waya Kwam La Quara'a Salaki Wa'ara Kwa Salaki La Quara'athum Waya Shathachwa Apayum Salaki Arataza. Verse 2. Waya Amor Salaki Waya Amor Hana Na'a Adanya Sawara Salaki Sawar Wa Na'a Al Banyath Salaki Ibadkum Wala Yanwa Wara Khatizawa Ragalyakum Waha Salaki Waha Shakumthum Wahalakthum La Darakkum Waya Amarwa La'a Kaya Barakawad Wab Salaki Nalayan. Verse 3. Waya Patazor Salaki Waya Patazor Bum Ma'ad Waya Sarwa Al Yawa Waya Ba'awa Al Bayathwa Waya Aisha Lahum Mashatha Wa Matazawath Apa Waya Akawa Yosta Waya Akawa Verse 4. Tarum wa Salakia. Wa Shekabwa wa ana wa Anashia ha Ayor Anashia Saddam na Nasabwa Al ha Bayat Mana Ir wa I Zaquan Call Ha'im Ma Quataza. Verse 5. Waya Kora'ara al Lawat Waya Amarwa Lawa Aya Salaki Aya Ha Anashim Ashar Ba'awa Al Yaka Ha Layala Hawa Taza Wa Al Ya Nawa Wa Na Da'i Athum. Verse 6. Waya Taza'a Allah Allahum Lawat Ha Pa Thacha Wahadalah Salaki Sagar Acharyawa. Verse 7. Waya Waya Amar Ath Na'a Akhya Tharawa. Ba Salaki Hana Na'a Salaki. Verse 8. Hana Na'a Laya Shafya Banya Salaki Banwath Ashar La'a Yadaiwa Ayash Awataza Ya'a Na'a Ahum Al Yakum Wa Aish Salaki Wa Aishawa Lahum Ka Katawab Ba Ayan Yakum Ra La Anashim Ha'al Al The Aishawa The Bar Salaki The Bar Kaya Al Khan Ba'awa Batazal Korapia. Verse 9. Waya Amarwa Salaki Waya Amarwa Gush Ha La'a Waya Amarwa Ha Akha Salaki Akhad Ba'a La Gawar Waya Shapat Shapawat Aitha Na Salaki Narai Laka Mahum Waya Hatazarwa Ba'a Ba'ayash Balawat Ma'ad Wayagashwa Lashabar Ha Dalaf. Verse 10. Waya Shalachwa Ha Anashim Ath Yad Salaki Yadum Waya by Salaki Waya Bawa Baya Awa Ath Lawat Al Yahum Ha Bayatha Wa Ath Ha Dalaf Sagarwa. Salaki. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 18 and verse 29. And he spake unto him yet again, peradventure there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake. And he said unto him, O let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And he said, O let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. And the Lord went his way, and soon as he had left communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned unto his place. All right, so well, Abraham walked him all the way down from just absolutely for sure, getting ready to destroy this place. Walked him down all the way to if they find 10, if they find 10 people in that place that was righteous, that he would spare the place. All right, that's just the kind of brother that Abraham was. All right, verse 19 and chapter 19 and verse 1. And there came 2 angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet him, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. So these are the angels, or these are the angels that came to Abraham in the previous chapter, right? And that had that before Abraham that had spoken to the Most High, right? They had set their way to Sodom. All right, and when they got the gates of Sodom, where Lot was at, because Lot was staying, I believe, on the outskirts, on the outside of the city. But when the angels got to the gates, Lot greeted them and dealt with them in a similar way that Abraham did. Because that was what that was what was taught to them. Lot was Abraham's nephew, and for a time in the previous chapters that we read, Lot was with Abraham, and he was with Abraham for all those years, right? But he greeted him in the exact same way, as our culture is. Again, our culture is to be hospitable. So he saw these angels and bowed himself with his face toward the ground. Verse 2, and said, behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet. And you shall rise up early and go on your way. And they said, nay, but we will abide in the streets all night. And these angels know these angels got a job to do. They know what they getting ready to do. They're like, nah, we gonna be in the streets all day. Verse 3, and he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. Verse 4, but before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round about, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. So to compass means to circle. So they basically formed a perimeter. Everybody in the city of Sodom, came out to where, they just saw these 2, what they perceived to be men. They just saw them go up in Lot's house. So they go and circle around Lot's crib, and let's see what they do. Verse 5, and they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came in to see this night? It's like it came into thee this night. Salakia. Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. Now remember, what we just read before is both old and young, all the people from every quarter. So this is everybody, the men, the men, Salakia. This is the men, the old, the young, everybody in between. And they all on one accord, talking about bring the men out unto us. So these men are asking for these men to come out that they may know him. Now, if you look up what know or carnal knowledge is sex. So what these men want to do is they want to sleep with these men that came into Lot's house. This is what was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I mean? And this is the report that you know what I mean? Because remember, the angels went there to get a report. You know what I mean? Because the Lord has been the Lord you know what I mean, the Lord has been hearing the cry go up. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna see if what's going on I'm gonna see what's going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. And these angels, you know what I mean, these men don't know that these are angels, you know what I mean, about to give a report to the Most High so that he can go ahead and bring that judgment. But I mean, this is the type of the sick and evil thing that was happening in this time. And like the scriptures, you know what I mean, that's exactly what's going on today. Like the scriptures say, this is America is spiritual Sodom. You know what I mean? And you see what's going on today. The LGBT, the LGBTQ community is running rampant. You know what I mean? To the point where they're trying to make an impression on your children, where you can't teach the Bible in school for I forget what they call it. You know what I mean? But you can't teach about, you know what I mean, the real culture that's in this Bible in school. You know what I mean? They call us an extremist group and a hate group. You know what I mean? But some sodomite with you know what I mean, some grown man with breasts and a beard and you know what I mean, a wig on and makeup can go in a preschool and do all sorts of gyrating and splits and twerking and all of that. You know what I mean? In front of your children. You know what I mean? And we read before, like it was the young and the old. It was the tiny, you know what I mean, the children and the, you know what I mean, the elderly. You know what I mean? But that's what America seeks to turn this place into. You know what I mean, and they already well on their way. You know what I mean, where they're trying so hard to teach young children about, you know what I mean, or trying to convince them rather, because that's exactly what it is. You know what I mean? Your children don't even, they're not even thinking about, you know what I mean, sex. They're not even thinking about I mean, they're not thinking about the thing that they're trying to teach your young children. Uh they're not thinking about whether they're not thinking about whether a boy feels like a girl or a girl feels like a boy. They thinking about, you know what I mean, Coco Melon and Baby Shark and snack time and nap time. That's what they thinking about. But these, you know what I mean, this extremist group called the LGBTQ community, they want to get your children while they're young so that they can turn America into this. And you're starting to see it happen. You see it happen with what's his name, Dwayne Wade's son. You know what I mean, trying to, you know what I mean, and what's her name? I forget the broad name. His wife, you know what I mean, advocating for him to, you know what I mean, turn himself into a woman. When that is a young warrior, man. But that's what you see going on today. Where now they're advocating for children to partake in this LGBTQ community. You know what I mean? And they are trying to take away a brother, you know what I mean, a father's right and will, you know what I mean, to speak up against it, or to, you know what I mean, you can't even disagree with it. Like you can't even be yourself. You can't even be a man around the LGBTQ community without being scrutinized. That's why you got what's his name? Goddamn, what the hell is his name? Marlon Wayans. You know what I mean? He's not a, you know what I mean, LGBTQ community, but he feels like because his daughter is part of the LGBTQ community, he has to, you know what I mean, dress in a rainbow flag and show their solidarity. You got brothers, you know what I mean, painting their nails to show solidarity with the LGBTQ community. You got, you know what I mean, black Hispanics and Native American men have been, you know what I mean, forced to wear dresses for God knows how long, you know what I mean, to what they say to show that you're secure in your masculinity. You know what I mean? Where you have to put on a dress to show which how backwards is that? You know what I mean? You got to put on a dress to show your security in your masculinity. You know what I mean? Which that is, you know what I mean, that is the opposite. You know what I mean? That is the opposite of masculine. You know what I mean? You secure your masculinity. You need to put your boots on. You know what I mean? Go to the gym. You know what I mean? Put some weight on you. You know what I mean? Grow your beard out. Stand up, be a man. You know what I mean? That's how you show your security and your masculinity, right? But point is, Salakia, not to be long-winded, but this is exactly what you see America being turned into. Exactly what you're seeing in Genesis chapter 19. You know what I mean? Salakia. Let me go back to the. But this is exactly what you're seeing, man. This Bible is a history book, man. We need to read these records and learn. You know what I mean? We need to learn these records so that we can recognize what's happening right in our faces, man. But the reason why your oppressor can repeatedly, you know what I mean, oppress us and beguile us and destroy us in the exact same ways that they've always done for, you know what I mean, millennia, is because we don't regard these records as important. You know what I mean? We don't look at these records and observe them and recognize it as, you know what I mean, history. And that they're doing the exact same thing right in our face today. Salakia. Verse 7. And I said, or Salakia, and said, or Salakia, verse 6. And Lot went out at the door unto them and shut the door after him. And he said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. So Lot is like, you know what I mean? He's pleading with these people. He's like, don't do this. You know what I mean? Don't do so wickedly. Don't do this wicked thing that you trying to do. You know what I mean? And he's trying to protect these men. You know what I mean? Salakia. Verse 8. Behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. You know what I mean? So this brother, you know what I mean, he from what he learned from Abraham, you know what I mean, he learned that hospitality. And he'll put his household on the line before he allows his guests to be harmed by the people in this evil city. You know what I mean? He was showing brotherhood here. But verse 9, and they said, stand back. They ain't want them women. You know what I mean? Remember, this is all the men of the city. They ain't want that woman. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They ain't want that woman. You know, any man in his right mind, you know what I mean, will be naturally attracted to any man in his right mind will be naturally attracted to a woman. You know what I mean? Especially, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, a young woman of marriageable age, you know what I mean, who hasn't known a man, you know what I mean, who hasn't slept with a man. Any man in his right mind would, you know what I mean, be attracted to a woman like that. You know what I mean, but these men are evil and diabolical, man. And they said, stand back. They want the men. They want the men that came in. They ain't even thinking about they not thinking about the woman, man. That just shows you how disgusting this place was. I mean, and that's the same spirit again as America. Salakia said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn. And he will needs be a judge. You know what I mean? So this is exactly, when we read this, you're gonna see, Lord willing, the reflection of America and how we're treated. You know what I mean? If you try, let me go ahead and read it. This one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will need to be a judge. So this brother, you know what I mean, showing brotherhood, he like, please don't do nothing to these men, man. Leave them alone. Don't do this wicked thing that you want to do. And these men, they like, this man, he came in from, you know what I mean, he's an outsider. He came to sojourn with us. He came to kick it with us, and now he want to be a judge. He want to judge us. You know what I mean? Ain't that what the LGBTQ community says? They say, who are you to judge me? You can't judge me. You know what I mean? When we go out there, when we teach Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans that it's wrong to be a part of that community, that's brotherhood. That's love. You know what I mean? We teaching our brothers and sisters not only to, you know what I mean, to not join in with that madness because it's evil and wrong, but we're, you know what I mean, we teach that, you know what I mean, that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in that community who have been, you know what I mean, abused, like, you know what I mean, Saucy Santana just came out with, or like, you know what I mean, Sexy Red just came out with, how our brothers and sisters are being abused. We also teach that you should receive justice for your abuse, not lean into the abuse. You know what I mean? where you got Sexy Red and she was abused. She tried to come out and talk about how she was abused, and she was laughed at by her own brothers. So she leans into the abuse because that's what gets praised, man. Same with these brothers, you know what I mean? That you know what I mean, get assaulted, get abused as children. You know what I mean? These young brothers get abused as children by other men, and they get ignored. The abuse gets ignored. You know what I mean? How is it that a young man could get, you know what I mean, like how is it that a young man could get passed around from all these different men who are abusing them, and there's no justice? Nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody wants to hide it. You know what I mean? Nobody, it gets no attention. You know what I mean? You got to go to Christmases and Thanksgivings and sit next to this person who assaulted you. How is it that that gets no attention after decades of decades? I'm not sure how old Saucy Santana is, but I'm sure he might be. He looked like he might be well in his, maybe, I don't know, maybe late 20s, early 30s. You know what I mean? How can this go on for decades and decades and decades and it gets no attention? But the brother, you know what I mean, put on eyelashes and a wig and lip gloss and put on a dress and, you know what I mean, start, you know what I mean, acting like a woman on these reality TV shows, and that gets applause and that gets millions of views and that gets all the attention, man. That's the problem, man. That's the problem, because they were never told that what this person did, what these people did to them when they were young was wrong, and they should be held accountable. You know what I mean? So that they never go into this, so that they never lean into that abuse, man. So what this brother Lot is doing right here, what Lot is doing is brotherhood, man. Just like what we do out on those street corners. But when we teach that, you know what I mean, they tell us, oh, who are you to judge? You can't judge us, man. Not even realize how much love that we show him. Salakia. Now we will deal worse with thee than with them. And that's another thing. You look at the LGBTQ community and you look at them, and that is a violent community, believe it or not. You know what I mean? Contrary to popular belief. You know what I mean? If you just open your eyes and look, you see that that's a violent community where you tell, you know what I mean? You tell a brother, like, good night. I think it might have been a skit, because I've seen, you know what I mean? I've seen this brother and the same sister, I believe, in several different other videos. But it was a brother, you know what I mean? He about like 6'4" with a wig on, full beard. And this he rolling up on his teacher, you know what I mean, acting like he about to fight his teacher. And the teacher obviously scared, but she's standing her ground. You know what I mean? She a little bitty, can't be no taller than about 4'11". Little bitty sister. You know what I mean? And this 6'4" man in a wig talking about some respect my pronouns, I'm a woman. And she like, you know what I mean? She like, back up. She like, your name is Joshua. You are obviously a man in front of me. She's not gonna feed into the delusion. And what she was doing was love. Like, look, I know you. Look, I know you. This is what you want to be called and all of that. You know what I mean? I'm already letting you wear a wig in my classroom, but I'm not. She's not gonna feed into their delusion, man, because that's what makes. You know what I mean? That's what makes Saucy Santana. That's what makes Sexy Red. That's what makes these brothers and sisters who was abused lean into it. When we lean into the delusion, man. And then, but the brother was getting aggressive. You know what I mean? When you tell him that you're a man, you know what I mean? You look at what's his name? Bruce Jenner. You know what I mean? He put on that wig and started growing breasts and whatever the hell madness he's into. You know what I mean? The man talking about some man was like, "Oh, you a man? I remember you as an Olympian." You know what I mean? You're not a you know what I mean? You might be woman of the year to them, but you're a man. Like you was 2 weeks ago before you got the procedure done. And he talking about, how about I get up and break your jaw? You know what I mean? That's the nature of this. That's the nature of this community, because that's how the community was made, with violence. You know what I mean? You assault somebody as a child, that is very violent, man. That is the very violent and diabolical and disgusting. Well, because we lean into the violence and we support the violence, and we applaud the violence, or we ignore the violence, rather. You know what I mean? We ignore the violence. It blossoms into, you know what I mean? Not blossoms, like it, but it grows into, you know what I mean? It develops into, you know what I mean, the madness of the LGBTQ community that you see today, man. And that nature of that community is violence. Salakia. nor will Slakia. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them. So they like, you worried about what we gonna do to him? Like we finna good night. Like they was finna do some Lord, good night. Salakia. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. So they about to good night. But the men verse 10, but the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house with them and shut the door. You know what I mean? That's all these you know what I mean? That's damn near all these angels needed. You know what I mean? They're like, yep, this place gotta go. You know what I mean? That was the report right there. You know what I mean? They saw what was going on in the city, man. They pulled a lot in, and we're gonna see what happened next. We're gonna finish reading in the Hebrew. It's a lot here. All right, Genesis chapter 19 and verse 11 in the Hebrew. Wa'ath ha anashim ashar pathach ha bayath ha kal. It's like a hakwa basa na warium makwatan wa'id gadawal waya la'awa la mataza'a ha pathach. Good night. Waya amarwa ha anashim al lawat I maya laka pa ha Chathan Waba na Slaki Wabanyaka Waba Nafyaka Wakal Ashar Laka Ba'ayar Ha wa Taza'a Man Hamakwam. Slaki verse 13. Kaya Mashachafim Anak Noah Ha Makwam Haza Kaya Gadala Taza I Quathum Ath Panya Yahweh Waya Shalach Noah Yahweh La Shahatha. Verse 14. Waya Taza'a Lawat Waya Dabar Al Ha Thana Yawa Lakwach Ya Banath Yawa Waya Amar Kowomwa Taza'awa Man Ha Ma Kowom Hazakaya Ma Sha Salakia Masha Khaya Yahawa Ath Ha'ayar Waya Haya Kama Tazakha Ba'ayanya Kha Nayawa. Verse 15. Wakamwa Hashachar Ila Waya Ayatazawa Ha Malaakim Balawat La Amar Kwawam Kwach Ath Ashafka Wa'ath Shafya Banafyaka Hana Mataza'ath Pun Thasapa Thasapa Ba'ai one Ha'ayor Waya Thama Hama Waya Chazakwa ha anashim bayadwa wa bayad ash ashathwa wa bayad shathya banathyawa ba Bakamalath Yahweh Al Yahweh Waya Taza Awa Waya Salaki Waya Nakawa Maha Salaki Mahawataza La Ayor. Verse 17. Wayahaya Ka Kahawataza Salaki Kaha Wataza Ya Atham Ha Khawataza Waya Amor Ha Malat Al Napashka Al Thabayat Akhar Yaka Wa Al Tha'imad Bakal Ha Kakar Ha Ra'a Slaki Ha Ra Ha Malat Pun Thasa Pa 18. Waya Amor Lawat Al Hum Al Na'a Adanya 19. Hana Na'a Mataza'a Ibadka Khan Ba'ai Yan Yaka Watha Gadol Hasadka Ashar Ashayath Madya Laha Chayawath Ath Napashya wa Anakya La'a Like it. I will call Lacha Malat Hahara Pon Thada Buk Salaki Thada Bukwanya Haraya Wa Mathya. Verse 20. Hana Na'a Ha'ayar Haza'ath Korba La Nawas Shama Wa Haya Ma Taza'ir Amalat Slakia Amalata Na'a Shama Hala'a Mataza'ir Hawa'a Wathachya Napashya. Lakia. All right. The book of Genesis, chapter 19, and verse Salakia. In verse Salakia. Verse 11. Salakia. And they smote the men in the English, Salakia. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great. So remember what happened. I mean, the type of time that they was on. I mean, the angels, when they saw how these men was moving, I mean, they pulled Lot in the house and they smote them all with blindness. I mean, everybody, all the men at the door. You know what I mean? With we'll see the small and the great. I mean the old and the young. Salakia. So that they wearied themselves to find the door. And that's crazy because you know what I mean, that's how tenacious that they were, you know what I mean, to be, you know what I mean, to go into this evil, into this madness. You know what I mean? They get you know what I mean, you get struck with blindness, you would think that you would, you know what I mean, nothing else matters. You know what I mean? You just, you know what I mean, 1 second ago you saw you was able to see, and now you completely blind. You know what I mean, you would think that, you know what I mean, a man in his right mind, he would be like, oh, you know what I mean, he would be like, I'm blind. You know what I mean? I need to sort this out, right? But they still trying to find the door. This goes to show you like how aggressive and you know what I mean, how aggressive and what's the word, tenacious this community is. You know what I mean? Well, verse 12, and the men said unto Lot, hast thou here any besides son-in-law and thy sons and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord has sent us to destroy it. So here you go. You know what I mean? These angels are revealing them. They letting Lot know what the deal is. They're like, look, we didn't see enough. The Lord, you know what I mean? Get everything that you got. Get your family out of here, and you know what I mean? It's like it. Get all your, you know what I mean? Get all your family up out of here. And because we're about to destroy this place, right? And Salakia, verse 14, and Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, up, get you out of this place. So he went to the husbands of his daughters. It was like, look, we got to roll. We're about to get up out of here. They're about to destroy this place. He gave the report that he got from the angels. I mean, the order that he got from the angels, and he went back to his sons-in-laws, right? He was like, look, get up. He said, up, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his son and sons-in-law. So these sons-in-laws thought that he was joking. He thought it was a game, just like they thought it was a game with Noah. You know what I mean? When Noah was building that ark, and he was like, he was saying it was gonna rain. The Lord was gonna cause it to rain. It was like, man, this nigga crazy. He tripping. I mean, you playing. You never seen no rain. And then that rain came, and then they was beating down the door. I mean, that's exactly what you seeing with these sons-in-laws, man. You know what I mean? They saying, look, Lot saying, look, and it's crazy because the whole city, all the men in the whole city left their homes and circled around Lot's house. You know what I mean? So this had to be like a, you know what I mean? This had to be, you know what I mean, a big spectacle. You know what I mean? And the sons-in-law, they just like, man, you playing. Look at this crazy dude over here, man. He playing. Ain't they Lord finna destroy the city? What? You know what I mean? And that's exactly, you know what I mean? That's exactly how, you know what I mean, we looked at. We get out on the street corners and we teach brothers and sisters, you know what I mean, the truth according to this Bible. We showing you the prophecies that's happening right in your face. We showing you how your oppressor doesn't love you. And that you're, you know what I mean, there's another, you know what I mean, I mean, you see how many times we got to see a video of a brother or sister getting brutalized on the internet before we realize that our oppressor don't love us. You know what I mean? We just and the story just came out. Breonna Taylor's you know what I mean, the police who took the life of Breonna Taylor in her own house in Kentucky. You know what I mean? They're blaming Breonna Taylor's boyfriend for her losing her life, and the charges against the police officers who did take her life are being dismissed. You know what I mean? How many times do we got to see examples of those where your oppressor can take your life and get away with it, or they're getting paid leave, or they get fired for one, or they get let go administrative leave from one precinct, and then they move across town to another and get hired again. You know what I mean? Like they did with Tamir Rice's killing. You know what I mean? How many times do we got to see examples like this? And then you'll see that on the news and be like, man, Black Lives Matter. Man, this is crazy. They can't keep killing us. And then we get up on the podium and say the same thing. It's like, man, he's talking that mess, man. God love everybody. How foolish can you be, man? And that's exactly what you're seeing here, man. Where the Most High gave these brothers, you know what I mean, these sons-in-laws of Lot's daughter, he gave them a chance to get up out of there. They could have been out of there with Lot. You know what I mean? And then, you know what I mean, what we're gonna read later wouldn't have happened. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna go into that, but we gonna find out what happens later. But just like they do to us, you know what I mean? Just like they did to Noah. You know what I mean? It was like what they was telling them, they was warning them, get up and get out of here because they're about to destroy this place. Them sons-in-law was like, oh, you joking, you joking. No sweat. 15. And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. 16. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand and upon the hand of his wife and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful to him. And they brought him forth and set him without the city. So these angels brought him out the city. You know what I mean? Verse 17. And it came to pass when they had brought them forth abroad that he said, Escape for thy life, look not behind thee, neither say thou in all the plain, escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. You know what I mean? So this is the order that the angels is given to Lot and his wife. You know what I mean? Now let's see what happens. And Lot said unto them, Oh, not so, my Lord. Behold, now thy servant has found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in the saving of my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me and I die. Verse 20, Behold, now this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape there. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live. And he said unto them, See, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow the city for the which thou hast spoken. Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything until thou be come thither. Therefore the name of the city was called Zoar. Verse 23. Salaki. Let me make sure I ain't go too far. Salaki. All right. We'll go back to the Hebrew. Genesis chapter 19 and verse 21 in the Hebrew. Waya Amar al Yawa Hana Nasha'afya Panyaka Gum La Dabar Hazah La Badaltaya Ha Hapakya Af Ha Ayar Ashar Dabartha. Verse 22. Ma'ar, it's like a Mahar ha malat shama kaya la'a al wakal la I shawath dabar al ba'aka shama al kan kora'a sham ha ayar taza wa'ir. Verse 23. Ha Hashamash Yataza'a Al Ha Rataza Wa Lawat Ba'a Taza I Salaki Taza Ara. Verse 24. Wa Yahweh Ha Matayor Al Saddam Wa Al I Mara Gapar Yath wa Ash Ma'ath Yahweh Man HaShemayim. 25. Waya Hapak Ath ha ayorium, Salakia, ayorium, ha al, Salakia, ha al, wa'ath call, ha kakar, wa'ath call, yeshabya, ha ayorium, wa taza mak, ha adama, Salakia. Wathabat, verse 26. Wathabat, Ashathwa, Ma'akharyawa, Wathaya, Nataza Yab, Malach. Verse 27. Waya Shekam Aburaham, Babakwar, Al Ha Makwawam, Ashar, Imad, Shum Ath, Panya, Yahweh. Waya Shakwak Al Panya Saddam Wa I Mora Wa I'll call Panya Arataza Hakakar Waya Ra'a Wa Hana Ila Koyator Ha Rataza Kakwa Kokoyator Hakabashan 29 Wayahaya Bashachath Alahayim Ath Arya Hakakar Waya Zakar Alahayim Ath Abraham Waya Shalach Ath Lawat Matawak Paka Baha Salaki Baha Pak Ath Ha Ayaryum Ashar Yashab Bahan Lawat, verse 30. Waya'al Lawat Mataza Wa'ir Wayashab Bahar Washath Ya Banafyawa I'm Wakaya Yara'a La Shabbath Ba Taza Wa'ir Wayashab Bana Ira Hawa'a Washathya Banathyawa. Verse 31. Wathamor Habakayura Al Hataza I Yura Banyanawa Zakwan Wa Ayash Ayan Ba Arataza Laba Wa'a Al Yanawa Kadarak Kal Harataza. Verse 32. Laka Na Shakwa Ath Banyanawa Yayan Wana Sakaba I'm Wa Wana Haya Ma Bay Ma Salaki Ma Abanawa Abayanawa Zarai. Good night. All right. Genesis chapter 19, verse 22. Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything until thou be come thither. Before the name of the city was called Zoar. And this is heavy because the Most High told, or Salaki, the angels, you know what I mean, the angels gave, you know what I mean, gave Lot a place to go. You're like, all right, get out the way. You can go to this city. You know what I mean? That, you know what I mean, we're gonna make sure nobody touches it, or you know what I mean, we're not gonna touch it. We're gonna keep it you know what I mean, not destroyed, intact. So that you have a place to, you know what I mean, to live at. All right. And this is just heavy. We just remember that, all right? Salakia. We gonna find out why that's heavy. But therefore the name of the city was called Zoar. 23. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. 25. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the city, that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. So the angels gave him the order. He was like, look, we're going to destroy this place. They told him what was going to happen. We're going to rain fire and brimstone on this place. We're going to destroy this place. Don't look back. Lot's wife, you know what I mean, didn't follow the instructions. She looked back and turned into a pillar of salt, man. Salakia. 27. And Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord, and he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah and toward all the land of the plain, and behold, and lo, the smoke of the city the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass when God destroyed the cities of the plain that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in the which Lot dwelt. So Abraham was pleading with the Most High, like, okay, if you could find 40 people, 30 people, 20, 10 people, would you spare the city? And he found, you know what I mean, they found one. You know what I mean? They went into that city and found one. The rest of them, you know what I mean, the rest of them was on some other time. You know what I mean? So they destroyed it, but they remembered Lot. The Most High remembered, the Most High remembered Abraham and got Lot up out of there. Verse 30, and Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountain, and his two daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Zoar. And he dwelt in a cave, he and his two daughters. Now remember, the angels told him to go to Zoar, you know what I mean, that we would leave it untouched. And you know what I mean, he went over to Zoar, but then out of fear, because he was afraid, you know what I mean, he went up to the mountains. You know what I mean, he went up out the way into the mountains, man, because he was afraid. You know what I mean? And he dwelt in a cave, he and his two daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger, our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth. Now, this obviously wasn't true. You know what I mean? But because they in this cave, I mean, they just saw Sodom and Gomorrah be destroyed. I mean, they in this cave, they like, man, you know what I mean, foolishly, they like, man, we getting, you know what I mean, our father is old, and there's no other man on the earth, you know what I mean, that can give us children. You know what I mean? Because again, they perception, you know what I mean, they in a cave, so they perception is like the world is over. You know what I mean? There's no man in the world to give them children. Verse 31. Salakia. Verse 32. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with them, that we may preserve seed of our father. Good night. I ain't got to tell you how disgusting that is. But we're going to pick up with that, you know what I mean, next week. All right. With that, say Majim, which means to stand.
right, Sar Wapanya Hakwadam, which means turn and face the east. We'll do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakukar, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Baratazar, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Gathonanawa, Lakum, Ko, Yawum, Wasalaknawa, Kawawatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kawawatinawa, Wala'a, Tabia'anawa, Banasai one, Abo, Hawashanawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wahala, Wataparak, La'awalumium, Amun, in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Let's pray for the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'akashah, Nathananawa, Hakat, the Rapa'ah, Kalmakala, Wakal Madawa, Hakat, Latahar, Hamatazarium, Hakat, Lahakwayum, Hamatyum, Hakat, Arakawa, Hatamala, the Garshun, Ba'ashem Yahushua, the water Amun. In English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the leper, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. The prayer to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Barak Lanao, Wayasharala, Wahabayasaparium, Barak, Ba'ashem Yahushua, the water Amun. In English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, bless us and Israel and the school. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Al-Haharyam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al-Yanawum, Shemarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawum, Wala'ah, Yayashun, Shalmar, Yasharala, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamum, Hashemash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarat, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal Ra, Yashamar, Abnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazaathka, Wabawaka, Maitha, Wa'id Awalam. In English, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence comes my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Look, Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al-Damiyelika, Al-Takarash, wa Al-Tashakwat, Al-Kayahana, Al-Yabyaka, Yahama Yawan, wa Mashanayaka, Sha'awa, Ra'ash, Al-Amaka, Ya'ariyamwa, Sawad, wa Yathayaitazwa, Al-Tazapawanyaka, Al-Marwa, Lakawa, wa Nakakidum, Magalia, Wala'a, Yazakar, Sham Yasharala, Iwad, Kaya, Nawa'itazwa, Lab, Yakadwa, Alyaka, Baryat, Nakaratwa, Ahalya, Adawum, Wayashama'alayim, Mawa'aba, Wahagaryam, Gabal, Wa'amawan, Wa'amalak, Palashath, Amyashabya, Tazawar, Gamashawar, Nalawat, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawat, Labanya, Lawat, Shalah, Aisha, Lahum, Kamadyan, Kayasara'a, Kayabyan, Banakal, Koyashwan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayan Da'ra, Hayawa, Gaman, La Adama, Shayatamwa, Nadayabmawa, Kairab, Wakata Salakia, Wakazabab, Wakatazamana, Kalnasaya Ashar, Amarwa, Na Yerusha, Lanawa, Ak, Nawat, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayatamwa, Kagogala, Kakwash, Lapanya, Raka, Kaash, Taba'aria Ira, Wakalahaba, Talahat, Haryum, Khan, Taradatma, Basa Irika, Wabasa Pathka, Tabalahum, Mala'a, Panyahum, Kwalawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabahawa, Ija'ai, Wayakaparwa, Waya Abadwa, Wa Yadaiwa, Kaya, Salakia, Kaya, Atha, Shamka, Yahweh, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al Kalha Rataza. The blessings for the school in the Hebrew. Barakatha Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shab, Wa Mayaka Allah, Wa Lahayim, Matazab Ya'ah, Alawap Yahana, Halawapyim, Hasaranyim, Hakatazayanyim, Hachayalim, Wa Ha Akwapyim, Yahweh, Ma'ashim Yahweh Shab, the water Amun. The English. Bless you, Yahweh, or Salakia. Salakia. Psalms 83 in the English, Salakia. Keep not thy silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off for being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembered. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth, make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zeeb, yea, all their princes as Abad, and as Zamunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the power and possess them. O my power, make them like the wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. Prayer for the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatha Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shah, Wa Mayaka Allah, Wa Lahayim, Matazab Ya'ah, Alawap Yahana, Halawapyim, Hasaranyim, Hakwatazayanyim, Hachayoyim, Wa Ha'akwatym, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, the water Amun. In the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shah, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you, so be it. The curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now. Right now, send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasures of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek's synagogue and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA's space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Space Force, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth, and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushua, Michael, Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathen that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread throughout the media, throughout the whole world. Cause it to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua, I thank you always. So be it. All right, sorry. We turn to face the front. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Visual Major Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahal Ba Shim Yao Shabrak Thum. Yajimata. Sar. Return to face the sisters. We courtesy salute to the sisters. Individual Madra Shabbat. Imajim. Marat. Yahweh Shamar Latham Ba Shim Yao Shah. Yajimata. Dismiss.